You told me that you voted for President Trump in 2024. Do you regret that decision? ¿Te arrepientes esa decisión?
Yes, 100%.
Why do you regret that decision?
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
Hopefully this conflict over there will end, you know, it's just unfortunate.
So now Americans are saying they regret voting for Donald Trump. They regret voting for Donald Trump, and some of them thought he's basically the savior because of his campaign promises and what he said and all that. But now they are realizing the opposite and they regret so much, and they are calling for unity. I don't want to talk plenty. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. You don't lose anything by liking, so just give the video a thumbs up. Let's go into the videos, listen to them, come back and let's talk.
You told me that you voted for President Trump in 2024. Do you regret that decision? ¿Te arrepientes esa decisión?
Yes, 100%.
Why do you regret that decision?
That's because it's nothing that's true. It's not true. He say he go to catch the delincuentes. Criminals. Yeah. And right now, he don't follow to criminals. He go to specific to Latino people. The DHS come specific to me and catch to me. Not other people. Because don't care to other people. Specific Latino people.
Let's talk about Trump voters who are feeling regrets.
If you could say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You are a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
Because let me tell you, they are out there.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I have a construction company, and not a thing is getting done. This is what I get. This is what I get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a 1-day job. I might have fucked up.
Well, yes, sir. You did.
I love this for you. I love this. Nice. I love this for you. I love to see you fail. I love to see your family be affected and hurt because you voted for Trump. Yeah, I voted for Trump. Absolutely. Did I know he was going to increase the tariffs? Yes, I did. However, I thought that the infrastructure would be set up prior for small business to come back to America and manufacture in America. So to wish ill on someone and to love the fact that they're suffering, to love the fact that their family is being negatively affected because I didn't vote the same way that you did is f***ed up. It really is. It shouldn't matter. Anyone that enters my life, I'm going to judge you of who you are, how you are as a human being. Are you kind? Are you polite? Are you sincere? That's how I judge you, not who you voted for. I've got far left-leaning friends. I got far right-leaning friends. It doesn't matter to me. I like you based on who you are. But to see someone hurt and their business fail and their family be affected because they didn't vote the way you did, it's fucked up. I'm sorry, a lot of you are fucked up. I'm sorry. We should all care about each other regardless of who we voted for.
We'll circle back on this one at the end.
So I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank accounts and go into crippling credit card debt, so that when I had an emergency, I had money set aside. So when my son's glasses break, I could actually get him new ones. I can't do any of that right now. My car broke down, and so I'm in a friend's car just to work, to continue living paycheck to paycheck. I knew it was going to be hard, and that it wasn't going to come fast. I just wish that things would work out better. I really regret that everything is taking so long, because there's so much pushback, because I don't even know the reasons anymore. I don't understand.
You know what? This one too.
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I miss my Uncle Joe. I was a nobody, and I was balling then. Now, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even show you $5 in my pocket.
We spoke to Trump voters here in Florida who are ticked off about the fact that the gas prices in the state have gone up by an average of about 60 cents within just a week.
I would just wish he'd keep up on his campaign promise and say he was going to put it under $3. He'd end that war so fast. But here it is, 5 years later, helping his buddy out get his more money. And then never mind charging us Americans all sorts of money for fuel that you just stole from Venezuela.
And those gas prices are getting higher because of volatile oil prices due to the war in Iran, a war that these Trump voters tell us they hope wraps up quickly.
If I could, speak to the president, I'd just encourage him to finish up this war and get us back to a safe world.
He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
Hopefully this conflict over there will end, it's just unfortunate.
The overall vibe here at the gas pump amongst these Trump voters is they feel like the economy is not going well right now.
At the moment, I'm really out of work.
My hope is that it's temporary.
The first guy saying he misses Uncle Joe is really something.
If you feel hopeless right now, I'm here to say some Trump supporters are actually regretting their votes. Estimates as high as 1 in 4 people who voted for Trump regret their votes. And on anonymous forums like Reddit, people have poured out their feelings about how much they regret voting for him. People like farmers who have been upset that they're not getting support and money is going to Argentina instead of them. Young voters who feel manipulated by the MAGA movement. And centrists who aren't necessarily committed to a political party have all expressed serious remorse over their vote. The fact that people are admitting that they're not happy with the election and the way things have been with Trump is a serious step in the right direction. As you know, in most cults, people who speak out against the leader are seriously punished. They're ostracized and experience a lot of hostility, which typically prevents them from speaking out in the first place. So although it may feel hopeless and like fascism has been descending upon us for a few years, there actually is a sign of some progress. That's why it's so important to have conversations with these people. If you're a white person and you have family who are Trump supporters, this is a really good time to try to get through to them, especially because a lot of Republicans want the Epstein files to be released, which could be used as a way to find common ground with them and convince them to not be MAGA anymore. Still have a long way to go, but the fact that his approval rating is dropping is a serious sign of good.
Make one thing very, very, very clear. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure Kamala Harris doesn't win. Vote for, if you want Donald Trump to win, say that. Bitch, I will vote for Satan if I have to. Remember, no one's free until we're all free. And we can't protect ourselves if we can't protect each other. This is the time for all the minorities, all the movements, all the working class to come together and really build power and really fight against the fascism that's been here, but finally popping its head out and being loud and proud about it. And unless we do something, really come together, it's gonna get real bad.
Right quick, you all tell me if you remember the following.
Vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
So that was a member of the Muslim American community there in Dearborn, Michigan, who told us if we voted for Kamala Harris, that we were not welcome in their community. And that was because of stances over Gaza.
I came home the day I met Trump, and I gave my son a MAGA hat, and I said, I guess we're there. And he said, ew. His first words to me were, ew. I said, but Baba, he said he's going to stop the war. And he said, okay, that's it. Give me that hat. We're voting for Trump. And that's the sentiment, not just of an 8-year-old, but of an entire community. If you're going to stop the war, even if I don't like you, I'm on your team.
Big news, guys. President Donald Trump just announced and told the Prime Minister of Israel that he needs to stop the war on Gaza by the time he gets into the office, which is in less than 3 months. This is such a wonderful news. It truly made my day that it might be true and it might not be one of those fake promises. And I'm really hoping by the end of 2024 will also be the end of war and torture in Gaza and to Palestinian people. If this will be the case, 2025 will be the most joyful year for all of us as Muslims. And also, I truly think that Trump deserves more credit because of this than we might give to him. So hopefully, President Donald Trump, please stay on your promises and deliver to it and not make it only a fake.
Called Arab Americans for Trump just announced that they will be changing their name to Arab Americans for Peace after Donald Trump proposed taking over Gaza and redeveloping it to turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East. So here's what the group's leader said as to why they are dropping the for Trump from their name and changing it to for Peace. Quote, "The talk about what the president wants to do with Gaza, obviously, we're completely opposed to the idea of the transfer of Palestinians from anywhere in historic Palestine. And so we did not want to be behind the curve in terms of pushing for peace because that has been our objective from the very beginning. Yet, if that was your objective from the beginning, then why were you supporting a guy who wanted to enact a Muslim ban and who was so transparently obvious, inciting completely against the Palestinian people? Like, whether or not you supported Kamala Harris was one thing, but there is no denying that she was more benevolent to the Palestinian people than Donald Trump. It's unfortunate that it took Donald Trump saying he wants to level Gaza for this group to realize that supporting Donald Trump may not have been in the best interests of the Palestinian people."
Right quick, you all tell me if you remember the following.
Vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
So that was a member of the Muslim American community there in Dearborn, Michigan, who told us if we voted for Kamala Harris, that we were not welcome in their community. And that was because of stances over Gaza, right? Well, yeah, this is going to be kind of awkward. Hold on.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible.
Hold on. He's not finished.
People of the area do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
So this your man's, right? This your man's here talking about turning a demolition site into the Riviera of the Mideast. And those of us who stood with you, you told us we wouldn't welcome in your community if we didn't vote for your mans here, or Jill Stein, right? Question, where's Jill Stein now? Ooh. Well, she doesn't seem to be answering the phone right now. And while I will never be okay with the carpet bombing of children, I will say this. If you all need any help in the community you told us we wasn't welcome to, since Jill Stein isn't answering, remember, you can always call Ghostbusters.
Hey, I'm a Palestine supporter, and there were a few very important things I'd like to discuss. I've been hearing horror stories about how some, not all, some Palestine supporters are treating members of the black community. They're basically making fun of them, talking crap about them, and then, get this, after all that, having the audacity to ask them to speak up for Palestine. That is shameful. It is absolutely disgusting. And mind you, these people that are doing all this racist nonsense are literally like, they would never show up for black people. And they're asking black people to show up for Palestine. Like, are you stupid? Is there a screw loose up here? Like,
remember, no one's free until we're all free. And we can't protect ourselves if we can't protect each other. This is the time for all the minorities, all the movements, all the work.
But didn't you?
We are going to do everything in our power to make sure Kamala Harris doesn't win. Vote for, if you want to vote Donald Trump.
No, I don't know if black people holistically have told you. We done with that holding hands and being side by side and going against the grain. That's over. And a lot of y'all thought it was a joke. A lot of y'all thought it was a game after the election. Everybody from that movement was like, oh, that's just black people online. That don't represent the whole black community. You sure about that now? Because they saying it in real life too. Real bad. Again, you want any type of black solidarity, any type of black anything, you need to clock that anti-blackness. We've been telling y'all this for 6-7 months and you guys still continue to not listen. You called a black woman outside of her name. And then you try to justify it by saying she's a war criminal when she ain't. She was just the vice president of the United States of America. You're a misogyny and you're anti-blackness is why you didn't vote for her. You sat here and said out your mouth, I'd rather vote for Satan himself than vote for Kamala Harris. Well, Satan is in the office now. He's in the White House now. Now what? Now what? You sitting here talking about in order for, if you really want to be a revolutionary, you telling black people, you as an Arab man is telling black people, if you want to be a true revolutionary, you can't sit here and play the two-party system. You don't even go to Trump rallies and disturb their peace. Hell, matter of fact, most of your people don't even attend Trump rallies and protest them. How you gonna sit here and tell black people how to be revolutionaries? Y'all on y'all own. Dead ass.
Gentle reminder. If you are a Palestine supporter, you don't support the black community, or you're racist towards black people, or you talk crap about black people, Palestinians don't want you. The liberation of Palestine is not just about Palestine, it's about liberation for all people. So if you're racist at all, we don't want you. I will acknowledge that Arabs can be very racist towards black people. I'm Arab myself. It's a known fact, and it's very embarrassing. So if you're racist towards black people, Palestine doesn't want you, nor do they need you.
Has anybody heard from the Muslim leaders from Hamtramck and Dearborn, Michigan? The mayor of Hamtramck, the one that started praising and kissing Donald Trump's ass just before the election, and said because of Trump's promise to protect Gaza and the Palestinians, everybody should vote for Donald Trump. And he got a whole lot of the Muslim community around Detroit to vote for Donald Trump. I'm just wondering if anybody heard from those leaders. I mean, after Donald Trump came and made the token visit to tell them sweet lies so that they could sell out their own people, they went on the local news channels and told Detroiters, vote for Donald Trump, don't vote for Kamala Harris. Because he stands for Palestine, he stands for peace in that whole conflict. And you could see the sliminess of these leaders, these men who persuaded much of their community to vote for Trump. Has anybody heard from them? I just want to know, has anybody heard? Because Trump barely won Michigan. Had they not followed these shady, slimy leaders, those in the Muslim community, maybe Kamala Harris would have at least won Michigan. But I just want to know, where are they? They're not on our news stations tonight talking about Donald Trump's press conference to take over Gaza. They're not on the news channels here in Detroit. They were all over the place, just like that, when they could be, to promote Donald Trump. But where are they tonight? I want to know where the fuck they are.
You see, some of them, when I listen to them, I think they were basically deceived. That's my opinion, I think they were basically deceived because they never thought this is how things are going to turn out to be, because whatever they preached or they campaigned against whilst they were seeking for power is totally opposite of what they are saying. Right from the vice president himself, that's the running mate, and also Donald Trump himself, all of them, every everything they said was totally opposite of what they are currently doing in power, and it's so sad. Now what is happening in America is like, I feel like Donald Trump knows what he has done and probably knows that if he leaves power, things are not going to go well for him. So they are doing everything possible to just probably remain in power, or I don't know. I just don't know why they can't stop. Just stop. Me, I understand, because listen, some of these missiles that they've used goes into the millions. You understand? They are huge amount of money, and they need to recoup that money back, and they need to recoup or get that money back. How are they going to get that money back? Is to get access to that Strait of Hormuz and get some oil, like to basically recoup the money that they've spent, and that's what they are on. But they are not going to stop. They are not going to stop. So Charlie, let's see what happens. This is what people are saying, and I don't know if he's going to be impeached or not. Let's see. Thank you so much for watching.